Thank you, I made it. That is my favorite sentence to say after 10 years of sewing, but also after 1 month of sewing. And I was wearing the first thing I ever made for myself. And someone would ask, where did you get that? Well, girl, I made it. I started sewing 10 years ago and I'm still completely obsessed with it. But the longer I did it, the more I was done with buying clothes that didn't fit me, using patterns that didn't fit me. I was so done with settling for something that was almost right and then ended up in my closet and I would not wear it. But if it doesn't fit me and I don't feel good in it, I'm not going to buy it. It's just going to be an extra question in my head that prevents me from buying things that I'm not going to wear anyway. I've bought so much less clothes when I started sewing because you're just not settling for less for things that don't fit quite right, or things that are not a good quality but a high price. So that shift really changed my perspective on buying clothes versus making clothes. I remember the moments in the fitting room with 3 different sizes and none of them fit. They were just all off. The length wasn't good. They were too wide on my waist and therefore they pushed back to my hips. It just felt off. They said on the label that they were my size, but they weren't. As you can see, it just looks off. And then every time I was in the store, I was like, why am I here? I can sew. So let me just make it for me and better. I learned how to draft my own patterns using my measurements, and therefore I can make any pattern that I want that perfectly fits my body so that everything I make fits me really nicely, which will make it 10 times better, look 10 times better on your body anyways. Okay, so here are 6 things that I learned by making all of my clothes myself. I know that we might all know this by now, but your body is not the problem. The stores or the patterns are. They are just simply not made for you. So not that they are a problem, but just realize this is not made for me. This is made for an average that doesn't exist. They use ratios that are average, that are normal and work for a lot of people because they want as much people as possible to buy their products. But as a sewist, you want to make something that just fits perfect. But you make it for yourself, so it will fit you so well. And it's not actually a problem, it's just the realization that it's not exactly made for you. The second thing is, if you don't use your basic block, it's not going to fit. This is my golden rule. And I might have learned it the hard way sometimes. Sometimes when I was just stubborn and I drafted something without using my basic block, it ended up not fitting me because I had no idea what I was doing with the measurements, with the design, with the ratios, everything. So it was fine, but it was not great. And now I always use my basic blocks and it's always a good fit. Because I already know that my basic blocks are fitted to my body. They work for me, the ratios are correct, the curves are right for my body, and that is why I can design anything that I want from there, because I have the confidence that it will be good. So what a basic block is, it basically is your second skin. So there's no ease at all in that pattern, which means that it should perfectly fit your curves, roundings, and everything that is specific to your body. And there's no standard size for this. You literally measure yourself and make the basic block so fitted to your measurements that no one else will have the same basic block as you. You put a lot of effort and time into making them once, and now I have them, everything becomes way easier. It sounds like a lot of work up front, and it is, but it's so worth it. Once they work for you, and you can go from there. And I just quickly wanted to say that in my free community, I've built a training to make your own basic blocks fitted to your body. So if you want to go and make your basic blocks, then make sure to click the link in the description, join the community, send me a message, and I will send you the training for free. Then the third tip, fabric choices change everything, and you can decide now. When you're buying clothes, you take what's given. The fabric, the weight, the quality, the material, everything. When you make clothes for yourself, you can choose the color, the weight, the print, the quality, every single thing. You can decide what you like most. And The importance of fabric is that I can make the same pants, the same pattern 3 times, but with a completely different outlook based on the fabric that I chose and the drape that I chose for the fabric. So I will insert some examples here. So this is a linen one. It's way heavier, it's way bulkier, but it looks cool. And this is a silk one. And this is draped on the bias, which makes it flowy and elegant and a completely different outlook, but exactly the same pattern. Besides the pattern, this is a lot of creative energy and creative options that you can put into making your own clothes, which is a huge advantage, because good quality fabrics can be more expensive, but buying something from good quality in clothes is so much more expensive than just buying the material and then making it yourself. Fourth thing I learned, a toile is not optional. It is the thing that makes the make. I know that we don't want to make things twice, especially not in a boring fabric, but making a toile will end up saving you so much time. One, because you did the construction before, so you already know the process of sewing it. And two, if there are mistakes in your pattern or mistakes in your fit, this is the place where we can finalize it, adjust it, and make the final piece better. This really prevents you from just getting frustrated about the fit in good quality, wasting good quality fabric, and therefore also wasting time because it ended up not working out, but you did put in all this time and effort. So a toile is definitely not extra work. It's how you protect your time and your good fabrics. And the fifth thing is that sharing what you make will push you further than making things alone. And what I mean by that, I started sharing my sewing journey, my sewing projects on Instagram. And not just the finished makes, but also tips and tricks and everything in between that, about pattern drafting, about sewing, about creativity, about hand making clothes, outfits, everything. And two things happened. One, the accountability makes me finish pieces and not, if I would have put a video up about a project, I wanted to finish it because I wanted to show it and share it. People have seen it, so I expected myself to show them the final results. And two, the response of people is amazing. Nobody is going to judge you about making your own thing, choosing your own fabrics, choosing your own designs. And it can be genuinely useful for other people to see you make things because it will inspire them, it will motivate them. Because I do believe that a lot of girls want to try sewing, but they don't. And maybe one of your videos will trip them into trying it. And then everyone can enjoy all these amazing things that sewing brings you. And I've spent a lot of times alone in my room sewing before I started sharing, and now I never feel alone anymore, which is nice. And the last thing is that when you are wearing something that fits perfectly, you will feel different. It will not only look different, you will feel different. When you put on a garment that is made exactly for your body, just try to imagine it. Something that is exactly the way you visualize it in your head and it looks exactly how you want it to look on your body. That is possible and that makes you feel good. It will feel so different than anything you ever buy. Even if you buy something expensive, making some things, wearing it and it being perfect is a different feeling than buying it. It will never be the same. And also just the story and the experiment and the experience that you learned along the way while you were making it, it will become something special. For example, the top that I'm wearing, I was in a complete rush making this, but I had this energy burst of creativity, so it needs to get out of my mind and made into a garment. And I was just cutting, grabbing the lace, grabbing the fabric, everything fitted so perfectly together. So I was like, oh my god, this is meant to be this top. And I just started making it and I had the best time just experimenting, playing with it, having fun with it and creating something for myself that after that fitted perfectly. And I think that really changes how you view things, clothes on your body. So if you want to do exactly this, make your own clothes, then this is what I would do to start. 1, take your measurement fresh from the measuring tape right now. So not the ones you've written out years ago, but fresh measurements. We are going to take them right now. Take them correctly. So stand up, wear fitted clothes, get your measuring tape, measure your bust, your waist and your hip, but also your shoulder width, your front length, your back length, your high hip ratio from your bust point until your waist, from your waist until your hip, your total length. Everything. Measure as much as you can. Write them all down and then try to incorporate that into your basic block. That is step 2. Make your basic block. Once. You preferably want to start with a bodice and a pants and a skirt, because that will be the most variation when using them. And as I said, I have a training in my community. I work with pre-made basic block and then adjust them accordingly to my measurements. So that way it will be even more precise, because you don't have to make all the curves yourself. You have a starting point, which makes it just easier to start instead of drafting it from plotting. So that is how I like to make my basic blocks. You only have to do this once, do it good, make all the adjustments, even if it's 0.1 centimeter, adjust it. Just do it. And then they will become one of the most valuable things in your sewing journey. And then 3, start drafting from your basic blocks. And design something you actually want to wear a lot of times, or design something that you already know that you wear a lot. So your favorite pants, try to recreate that on top of your basic block. So get the pants, get measurements from the pants, and then try to draft the pattern from it. This will teach you so much about pattern making and just starting with it, just applying measurements on top of your basic block. And it's nice to grab something that you already wear a lot, because then you will know that you will wear the piece a lot. And then one thing that is also very important, document everything. So you don't want to randomly adjust things on the basic block. You want to be very cautious and intentional about changes you make. So try not to, oh, it's too long, shorten. Try to, okay, it's too long. How much too long? What it would look like when I cancel 1 centimeter, when I cancel 2 centimeters. Try to be intentional. Try to think about the changes you are going to make, and then write everything down on the pattern. Also on the toile and also on the fit. Write everything down. And don't be the girl that thinks, oh, I don't have to write this down, I will remember it, because you won't. You won't. Write everything down just so that you know what you did, and then you can look back at the notes that you make and see, oh, this doesn't fit quite right. What did I change that made it fit like this? And that will give you a lot of knowledge in pattern drafting and experimenting, but with intention. And that way you're building knowledge that is going to compound over time. So the more you see, the more you do, the more you write, the more you try, the more you will learn. And then over time it will become easier and easier. You know sizes that work for you, you know measurements that work for you, so you don't have to come up with everything again and again and again. And then one last thing that I will say. So there is no such thing as an average size, and that is not right or wrong. It's just the way that clothing brands are built. But you can do something for yourself. You can make something for yourself that fits perfectly. And in my opinion, sewing is not just making cute clothes, but it is an autonomy to saying to yourself, I know my body, I know my taste, and I have the skills to make something that reflects exactly that, what I want to wear. And that is what I want for you. To wear things that actually feel like you and make you feel good. If you want to go even deeper into pattern making, drafting, understanding it, then I also have a program called Pattern Mastery, where I go in depth with you on creating the patterns that you want to create, your dream pieces, and we will do all of it together. The link is also in the description to book a free call, where I can show you how I turn my basic blocks into designs that you want to create. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will post a video every Tuesday. I make videos about sewing, pattern making, building a creative life, building a creative business, everything around that. And I hope to see a like and leave a comment what your dream piece is to make, or if you want to start making your basic blocks, let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you next